And I'm getting ready to start this on YouTube, so the guys on TikTok, you're gonna just have to wait a second.
Welcome to the cash flow path. Discuss how to create income you own with the paid community instead of income you rent.
Hey, King, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Platforms through brand deals, paid per views,
What's up? How are you? Long time no see.
creators and subject matter.
Welcome, welcome.
Experts 40 and over who aren't able to monetize their YouTube or other channels.
And if you're hearing
the way
this,
they
and
want.
you are not,
My style
you're
is
not sure what it is, I actually created this.
no hype and tech simple.
I created this theme song myself because it is kind of a let's see, where is it here?
Theme song for my daily YouTube,
What's up?
Instagram,
How are you?
and TikTok lives. I discuss how to create income you own with the paid community.
Hey, Manny, how are you? Hello, Melissa.
Instead of income you rent from social media platforms through brand deals, pay-per-views, and ad revenue. My live streams are for creators and subject matter experts 40 and over who aren't able to monetize their
Hi, Johnny.
YouTube or other channels the way they want. My style is straight talk, no hype and tech simple.
What's up, Serious 01? What's up, Caleb? Hello, hello, hello. So, if this is the first time you've seen me, drop a 1 in the comments. If you have been here before, drop a 2. Let's see, we'll bring this over here.
Welcome to the cash flow path. Discuss
What's up,
how
Jeff?
to
Dale, how are ya?
create
Ready to go.
income you own with the paid community
What's up,
instead
Dale?
of income you rent from social media platforms through brand deals, pay-per-views, and
Skylar, hello.
ad
About 3 minutes, I'll be going live on YouTube, and my slides are over there. So, unfortunately, I don't have the slides at this point, but I'm trying to get it going in TikTok. I'm trying to get the studio open, but for some reason the studio is not opening for me. Alright, here we go. This is how we do it, guys. We just wing it, you know? It's live, so we just wing it. Hi, Roxana, how are you?
Welcome to the cash flow path. Discuss how to create
Alright, we're gonna go live here in about 2 minutes.
community instead of income you rent from social media platforms.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Subject matter experts for the unknown who are able to monetize their YouTube or
Work.
other channels the way they want. My style is straight talk, no hypertext.
Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Now, hopefully, you can hear it a little bit better. All right. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate that. Hello, hello. Hi, Krista. How are you? All right. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing started. And I am going to, well, we got one more time. So let's go one more time here.
Theme song for my daily YouTube.
Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome.
Instagram and TikTok lives. I discuss how to create income you own with the paid community. Instead of income you rent from social media platforms through brand deals, pay-per-views, and ad revenue. My live streams are for creators and subject matter experts for the and
All right.
who are able to monetize their
I'm just going to let this finish. I like this theme song. I don't know why, but I do.
My style is straight talk.
Because it's just
No
telling
hype
people
and
who I
text
am and
simple.
what this is all about. By the way, if you are brand new to my live, what's up? Hey, how are you, Starter? Start it up. Yep, we're gonna. We just had some issues, but we're gonna start it up. Now look, if you're not 40 plus, this probably isn't gonna be for you. I'll just tell you that right now. All right, so let's go ahead and get that out of there. All right, so if you are not 40 plus, you either A, know this, or B, this is not going to be of interest to you because it won't be relevant. But I am going to tell you who my lives are for. They are for people who are, as it says above here, creators and experts 40 plus. Now, an expert can be just simply somebody who knows something, right? It's just something you have a lot of knowledge about. And usually that's the byproduct of being 40 plus. You know a lot about a lot of things. Now, what the mistake that 40 plus people try to, or what they make as a mistake is they try to learn a bunch of stuff about AI and digital marketing and making money online, and they don't know any of that stuff. They would be much more believable and authentic and genuine and real, and people would trust them if they would just teach them something they already know. So my lives are for people who post consistently, but the income is still flat. And if you are on TikTok, you know that income is flat because you don't control it. Now on YouTube, you probably have 1,000 subscribers, but your income is flat there as well, right? The content is solid, but the growth and reach aren't there. Now, you also may know your field, but you don't know what to sell or how to structure it. I got you. And you have expertise, but you haven't packaged it into even content, let alone an offer that you can make for people. So that's who my lives are for. Now, if that is not you, then, you're welcome to stay if you want to, but I don't know if you're really going to get it, to be honest with you. I don't know if you're going to get it. So, how did this all start and why do I do this? Well, it was a long time ago. It was probably 4 years ago. I was in a job where I had to have a long commute, about 40 minutes. And I know if you're in a big city, you're thinking to yourself, that's not a long commute at all. You're ridiculous. And I get that, right? I totally get that. Let's see. Is that? Nope, that's not what I want. Where's my vertical camera? Where'd it go? Oh, there I am. Let's move us. There we go. All right. So anyway, I'm listening to Audible because I liked to listen to Audible, not podcasts and crime and all that stuff. But I was listening to an Audible book, which is my favorite thing to do when I'm driving. And then a book got recommended to me, and I don't know if I can show it to you. Yeah, I guess I can. I think I can show it to you. Let me show it to you. Amazon. And this is totally off the cuff here, so I am not scripting anything. But I'm gonna show you. All right. So you know how Audible, and if you don't know what Audible is Audible is a way that you can listen to books digitally. So and you're not going to be able to see this probably on, well, yeah, actually you can see it on TikTok now. I'm sorry. So here you go. So I found this book. This book was recommended to me. This book was recommended to me. And the thing about this book was that it made total sense for somebody who is not experienced in business. I'll tell you what it did for me. Number one is it gave me like these aha moments about how simple a business can be and how original a business can be. Because most people are trying to sell something that they did not create. And it comes off fake. Nobody believes you. Nobody trusts you. That's why 97% of those businesses fail. Because you're trying to sell something you didn't create. You don't have any real life experience with it. And so nobody believes you. Right? And that's a problem. That's a real problem for people. So just wanted to check here and make sure. Oh, well, I haven't gone live there. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Go live. All right, it's saying that I have to get off of here. So I'm going to go live with my eCam. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. So anyway, I found this book. And sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to accommodate both platforms. And sometimes it's honestly not real easy to do that. But so I found this book. And this book, like I said, it completely changed the way that I thought about business and about how to make money. It completely changed it. And it wasn't a course, right? I do a subscription on Audible where for $15 a month, I get a hold of one book, right? So it's like buying a book on tape for 15 bucks. And all of a sudden one day that guy's book, Alex's book, was suggested to me. And when I listened to his book, number one, it was narrated by him, and that's a huge part for me. I love books that are narrated by the actual author. So I listened to this book, and here's the kind of things that he said. He said, all you have to do is figure out a problem that you can solve for other people. He said, that's all you have to do. And what I liked about the way that he did things, and I'm going to move over here a little bit. What I liked about the way that he did things, and I know I have a copy of this here somewhere. Where is it? Is it there? Yes, there. Okay. So this, and then about the same time, which was really, really, fortuitous, I guess. About the same time, I saw this guy on TikTok and he said the same thing, but he actually drew it out on a whiteboard. And he said, the only thing that makes a business is solving a problem. You find a problem to solve, you can have a business. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to invent, I'm trying to find what I was looking for here.
It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to invent anything. Take, for example, this pen. Now, this is a Bic pen. Generally, they have not changed in 70 years. They're not fancy. They don't have AI attached to them. They don't have, apps attached to them. It's just a Bic pen. And all it does is it helps people write. But it solves a problem. It's not sexy, but it solves a problem. And when you solve a problem for people, guess what happens? They pay you to solve that problem. Now, I'm gonna zoom in on this a little bit by bringing this like full screen for the folks on YouTube. Well, I think it's actually going to be, yeah, it's full screen for people on TikTok as well. But look, all you have to do is this. You're at a current state, or people are at a current state, right? They have a problem related to one of three areas that makes them unhappy. That's all it is. And that problem is going to be related to health, wealth, or relationships. Because if you boil it all down, everything we do revolves around those three things: health, wealth, relationships. We're just trying to make one of those three things better. So this current state, and I know there are degrees of that, so bear with me here, but the current state is someone is unhappy. Usually because they don't have knowledge or they don't have a result that they want. Or they just feel something is missing. So your job with solving a problem, how do you solve a problem? Number one, you identify what the problem is. You identify the problem for them. And when you do that, when you identify that problem for them, then you got to figure out, okay, this is a problem in the marketplace. Am I qualified to solve this problem? Am I qualified? Would somebody look at me and say, yes, you have the experience or you have the credentials to solve this problem? Now, before you think that is going to require years and years or decades and decades of experience, I'm going to tell you simply how you can solve problems for people. Is that okay? Do you guys want to hear that? Yes, no, maybe? And guys, the more you communicate with me, the better these lives are. Because I honestly don't want to just hear myself talk. I'd much rather, that's why I'm going to go back and forth here. Anybody here? By the way, if this is the first time you are seeing me, put a 1 in the comments. If you have seen me before, you can put a 2. You can also let me know where you're tuning in from if you want to. But problem solving, that's all we're doing. So the first thing we have to do is we have to identify the problem, right? What is the problem that somebody is facing? And then once you figure out what the problem is that somebody's facing, you're like, okay, what is the solution for that problem? And this is all, now, what's interesting about this is the fact that people will tell you what problem they want solved and what they're willing to pay for. You just have to gather them and ask them. That's all you have to do. You gather them and ask them, what problem would you like solved? Hey, you are a 40 and over creator. You've got about 1,000 subscribers or more, right? Or followers, but you're not making any money. What problem do you want solved? Right? So we identify the problem first. We understand the root cause. Now, in my case, the root cause of the problem is it's the model. It's not the platform. You're relying on platforms to pay you. And that means brand deals, ad revenues, bonuses, TikTok shop, all of that stuff is reliant on the platform. If you really want to take control and build income you own rather than you rent, you have to find a problem that you are qualified to solve. That's why it says with existing knowledge. With existing knowledge is how you want to solve a problem, right? So let's go back to this as a full screen. Because you know what? Actually, let's go like this. Hold on a second. Nope, not that one. Bear with me. Oh, we don't have that one there. All right, so bear with me here. I'm going to get rid of, nope, not that. And look, like I said, this is live. So, and if you're wondering what this program is that I'm using, it's called Ecamm. And what Ecamm does is it allows you to do all these things so you look different than other people. All right. So we're going to bring this down a little bit, and then we're going to move that there. We're going to move this here because you don't really need to see me so much. So we're going to make me smaller. I'm over here. All right. Actually, you know what? We'll put me over here. All right. So problem solving. I thought I had this. I guess I don't. All right. So I'm going to create a vertical so you can see that. And then we're going to bring that puppy up over there. And I am going to check my YouTube for comments. Don't have any idea. I have no control over the number of viewers. That's the whole point of what I'm talking about here today. That is the whole point. See, you don't control any of that stuff, right? You have no control, and I do have another. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. I've got one here. I thought I had it. That's the background. There we go. All right, so I'm over here. So look, you identify the problem. You figure out the cause of the problem. Because a lot of times people will try to solve a problem and they create the wrong solution because they don't understand the cause of the problem. Does that make sense? Right? And then you're going to apply what you know. Now, this is where, let me come back full screen here. This is where 40 plus are very, very qualified to do this. This is where 40 plus has this down. And that is, we apply knowledge from our life experience in order to solve that problem. And then when we apply that knowledge, guess what happens? We've taken action, and so we're able to get other people to take action. Now, the only reason somebody's going to take action is because they believe that it can happen for them. They believe the solution that you are providing can happen for them. If they believe that, they will take action. And then once they take action, guess what? You have created value for that person. You've created value for them. And if you create value for them, they will pay you. See how this works? They will pay you if you create value for them. And because you're going to help them get from point A to point B, right? Where am I here? Point A to point B, right? And if you help somebody get from point A to point B, they'll pay you. Now, what is it they're going to pay you to do? Save them time, money, and headaches. If you can save somebody time, money, and headaches, or make them money, any one of those things, if you can do that, then you, my friend, have a business. How do I get rid of this? Sorry about this. And I have to squint because my eyes aren't that great. All right. So what can we teach? Well, here's something that anyone can teach. And is it there? Nope. Is it there? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Sorry. There? No. I got to label these things, man. I have got to label these things. Is it there? Yes. What can you teach others? Anything that you have read 5 books on, anything you've spent 50 to 100 hours doing, or anything that you've gotten a real result. Any of those things you could teach other people. Because there's a guy on YouTube right now named Ryan Holiday. And if you don't know who he is, let me show you Ryan. All this guy has done with 2 million subscribers is he studies the Stoics. And if you don't know who the Stoics are, they're a class of Greek. Oh, I guess it would be helpful if I showed it to you. So the Daily Stoic is a YouTube where this guy has put lots of time and effort into studying the Stoics. And the Stoics were Greek men who came up with some basic ways to live life that just made life better. And so he's read at least 3 books on that subject, or probably 5 books at least. So he's also spent 50 to 100. He's probably spent thousands and thousands at this point, thousands and thousands of hours doing this, right? And by using the principles that he learned from the Stoics, he has made real, tangible things happen for himself and for other people. Because it's just a very, what we call first principles way of living. And all it means is that you are able to see things for what they are, act like an adult, persevere, don't worry about things that you can't control, don't worry about what other people think of you, and just live your life, right? So those are things you can teach. But then you also have what I like to call the knowledge buckets. Now, this gets a little bit more specific, right? This is a little bit more specific. Where are my knowledge buckets here? Nope. Yep, I definitely need to label this stuff. Good Lord. Where is it? All right, well, you're not going to get it on the other one. I'm sorry. So the knowledge buckets. Number 1, a career. You can teach anybody anything that you've learned in a career, right? You can teach anybody anything you've learned in a career. So that's number 1. Number 2, you can teach a problem that you've solved for yourself or other people. And in other words, like, there was this problem in my life. I figured out how to solve it. Now I can teach other people how to solve it. And then last but not least, you can just teach or gather people around a passion. And you can think of it like you're the bouncer at the bar, at the door, and there's a band playing, right? You're not the band. You don't know how to play the instruments, but you can actually host the place where people see the band, and people will pay you for that opportunity. Think of a Kiwanis Club or a Chamber of Commerce all of those things are simply that. They are just places where people gather, right? Places where people gather, and somebody pays for the privilege of gathering where those people gather. That's all it is. So, career, problem, or passion. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how simple it is to gather these people. So this is called school. And if you're not familiar with what school is, it is kind of like a Facebook group on steroids, and one that people actually want to take part in and visit. All right, that's what it is. And I don't know why this has come down like that. That's driving me nuts. All right, so let's go with a career. So let's try accountants. And just so you know that these people are making money, we're going to filter by paid groups only. So this person is showing people how to get AI to do bookkeeping. This person is also showing AI how to get people to do bookkeeping. Here is tax strategies. Right? So and that's what I want you to see. Within accounting, there's tons of things that you could teach people within accounting, right? Tons. So you got the growth lab for accountants, and you got 19 members in here paying $97 a month. Well, call me crazy, but that's almost $2,000 a month. And look what they do. Smart systems, real growth, less grind for accountants. So it's only for accountants, right? And it's hosted by a CPA, this Brian Davis guy. It's hosted by a CPA. And he's got 19 members, $97 a month. Pretty good. And you know what that does? That beats the hell out of waiting for the platform to pay you. That beats the crap out of waiting for TikTok to pay you or YouTube to pay you for your views or followers. Or TikTok Shop, or brand deals, or AdSense. It's way better than all of those. So you've got a career, and I only went through one. I can go through more. If you guys are here either on TikTok or YouTube and you want me to show you a career live that probably has a community, then put it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do that. That's my favorite type of live, is when people actually participate and I can show them in real time what actually works. So if you have a profession that you want to know whether or not you could teach inside of the school platform, put the name of the profession in the comments and I will be happy to look it up and see how many groups, if there are any groups. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about teaching people your profession. All right, we are talking about teaching people your profession. Number one. Number two, you can teach people a problem that you have solved for yourself or other people. And the way that works is, I'm going to give you an example. So my wife has recently had, 18, 19 months ago, she had bariatric surgery. Anybody know what bariatric surgery is? Anybody have any idea? If you do on TikTok or YouTube, just say yes in the comments if you know what bariatric surgery is. Because what it is it's a weight loss surgery. And what they do is they shrink the stomach. And so she had the surgery done and she's lost over 170 pounds. It's absolutely amazing. But what she did is she had the surgery done. And by having the surgery done, here's what was really interesting. Before she had the surgery, she knew that there was a lot of prep that she needed to get ready for. And after the surgery, she knew there was a lot of things that she needed to know. Now, what was interesting is she didn't go looking for doctors who had performed the surgery. She went looking for people who had had the surgery, right? Had the surgery. And this goes back to the whole problem solving. You can only solve a problem like that for people if you've been through it. And so she found this woman on Instagram who had been through the surgery 5 years ago at the time. This woman had maintained 160-pound weight loss. And so my wife watched a bunch of her content. She decided, I want to find out more how I can work with this woman. They got on a FaceTime. And then the next thing you know, my wife is paying $199 a month to get coached by this woman how to maximize the efficiency of her bariatric surgery. Simple. Simple. That's how she found an online coach. So let's go look at school and let's see what on school that you could do this with. So let's go with depression. Let's go even deeper. Postpartum depression. And this is your lesson in getting very specific about the problem you solve and who you solve it for. And as always, just so you know, there are free groups out there, and then within free groups, there are paid tiers. And look, there's not that many, which I find a massively underrepresented segment. Right? Massively underrepresented. And quite frankly, I'm going to put in bariatric because I've been telling my wife forever. Okay, here's one. Right? Find your identity after weight loss. Look at this. 47 members, $29 a month. And that's actually bilingual. But that's not really for bariatric. So that's a little misleading as far as I'm concerned. But let's go back to bariatric again under the search terms. Look, 14 members, that's a free group. That's a free group. But within these free groups, there are probably paid tiers where you get more access. Weight loss support, right? So that's a little bit more generic, but there are people in there. So that's a personal problem that somebody has solved for themselves, and now they are qualified to solve that problem for other people. Right? They're qualified. They can solve it. Then the last thing is a passion. And these are my favorite communities because these are the ones that are the most fun. These aren't the ones that necessarily affect somebody's health or wealth, but they affect their happiness. They affect their relationships with other people. So let's go, and I'll show you some of the most successful of these. Now, these are in the let's go bird watching, right? There's probably no real benefit financially to bird watching, but there is to this woman because she's got 285 members paying $15 a month to bird watch. There's a benefit to her, and there's a benefit to them, right? And so this clover right here indicates that she is in the top 10% of earners on school, which means she's making at least $3,000 a month from this community, right? And she doesn't have any kind of designation. She doesn't even have she does have a free trial. And then after her free trial, it's $15 a month. That's it. So Angela, and let's see how Angela gets people. Angela has a YouTube channel. And she's only got 1,400 subscribers. The bird nerd. I love it. She's only got 1,400 subscribers. This is why the number of subscribers or the number of viewers or the number of followers or the number of views that you get is completely irrelevant. Listen to me. It is completely irrelevant to you making money. Completely. At one point, I had 41,000 followers on TikTok. And then somebody stole my account on TikTok. And I built a group of 750 people in a free community on school. And you know what I was making? Zero. So it has nothing to do with the number of followers, the number of views, the number of subscribers. Irrelevant. Because look at this woman. She's only got 1,400 subscribers. I've got slightly more, and I'm not making that much. Right? I'm not making that much yet. But she's the bird nerd. And look at her videos. This is a short, so 1,600 is pretty standard. That one's only 616 views. Right? 387, 317, 358, 216, 450, 285, not thousands, not tens of thousands. You don't need that. Stop listening to the platforms that tell you you have to have a lot of subscribers or you have to have a lot of views to make money. You absolutely do not. You do not. She's only got 1,400 subscribers. All right. So let's take 285, which is the number of her members, and let's take 1,400 and divide it by 285. And that's 4.912. All right, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. So let's go 285 divided by 41 or 1,400. Let's try it like that. 285 divided by 1,400. Guys, that's only 20% of our audience. Now imagine if you have 1,000 followers and you get 20% of your audience to pay you monthly to hang out with you. Because here's the thing about social media, and here's the thing about YouTube. It's not a community. Don't fall for this crap of them telling you that social media or even YouTube is a community. It is not. It is not a community. It is people that watch your content. That's it. They are not a community. They don't know you off of social media. They can't connect with you off of social media. And most of them will never pay you. But what she does, and let's see if she's got her school community link right there. So all somebody has to do is look at her videos and it's like, oh, she's got a school community. They click here. They go to the flock. They see they can have a 7-day free trial, and then it's only $15 a month, and they can hang together and they can do all kinds of stuff together. Right? That's it. That's what we're talking about right there. So why would you try to get the platform to pay you? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Because you know what happens when you usually try to get a platform to pay you? You know what happens? This is where I get to use some of my fun tools. You know what happens when you try to get a platform to pay you? You're sad. And then that sadness goes away. And then you make a new video. And you're sad again. And then you make another video. And you don't get much from it. And you're sad again. Right? Or you can create an offer based on a problem you were able to solve for people. And then when you can offer that to people, guess what? Guess what happens? They'll pay you, right? They will pay you. So that's what we're talking about here. Now, if you want to learn how to do this, just so happens I have a free trial. And after my free trial, it's only $7 a month. Now, there's some more help at higher levels inside of that. But to start, it's $7 a month. You can't buy a Happy Meal for $7. And look, try it for 7 days. If you don't like it, get out before you get charged. What do you have to lose? But what I'm going to teach you inside of there, and I guess I should probably tell you that, shouldn't I? What I'm going to teach you inside of there, first thing you're going to do is you're going to clock in, and we've got a little office theme going on in mine. First thing we're going to do is we're going to teach you the foundation. And the foundation is, I've got a couple of tools in here that help you figure out what you're qualified to do. I got a couple of tools. And then once you have these 2 tools for 4 wins, right? I've got this document where you use AI to help you. Now, AI is not going to teach you everything. It's not going to do it for you. But what it's going to do is it's going to help you figure out what are your natural strengths. What are the things that you would be good at teaching other people? That's what it's going to do. And then when you're in there, right, you got the foundation. And then once you have figured out what it is that you want to teach somebody, and here's the creator tool, right? This is one of the things that we have. It says, stop chasing YouTube ad money. Write the plan that writes the page that explains why. And then it says, look, what do I actually want to earn monthly from this content that I'm creating? What do I currently earn from it? What's the gap we need to close? How many people do I need paying me directly at whatever number, right? I help you with all of that. Then we help you come up with keyword searches. Then we help you build your page. And we've actually got a couple of tools to help you build your page, right? And then we have this group card builder thing, which is you can either do it with Canva or you can do it with GPT. And what it helps you do is, and I've actually changed mine since then, but you can build that, right? So that gives you the foundation. Then in step 3, you're actually going to start your community, and I'm going to help you. You start your branch. And again, we call it branch because we have an office theme. But you start your branch. Then you build your branch. And I show you how to do that in a very short video. Then you invite people. I show you how to do that. Then I show you how to get the shortcut if you want it. If you don't want it and you want to do it yourself, stay in there for $7 a month. Who cares? Right? I show you a bonus of a library of tools that I use. I show you more ways to get your community to interact with one another. And then I have advanced stuff right here that is only available for the higher level folks. And they get more access to me. They get more time. So that's it, right? That's all we're doing. We're just showing people how to do something that they already know how to do. And again, it's going to be based on one of 3 things. A career, a problem, or a passion. And if you look at all the categories inside of school, they all fit in one of those 3. So, and what this does is this creates monthly, predictable, recurring, right? Monthly recurring. Unlike these programs where they want you to sell courses, that's not predictable. That's not monthly. You know what happens a lot of times when I go live and when I used to go live on TikTok, I would get a ton of realtors in there. Why? Because realtors understand that if they do not sell a house next month, they don't make any money. There's no recurring income with real estate. It is, what have you done for me lately? So that's why realtors come in, because they're like, wow, I've been a realtor for 20 years. I could teach the way that I succeeded in real estate. Or I have been a project manager for 10 years. I could teach people how to get jobs in project management. Or I used to weigh 300 pounds. I walked my way to 150 pounds. I can teach people how I did that. Or I just love birds. Or I love donkeys. Or I love breathing underwater breathing and swimming. Or I love sports. I love golf. I love tennis. I love pickleball, right? You can teach anything you want to teach. All you have to do is build the foundation so you know how to help people solve problems. Because again, where is it here? Again, now, if you want somebody who's doing this, check out my friend. This is my friend Amanda. I've known Amanda for a couple of years now. And what Amanda did is she came up with the spiritual, this was her group for spiritual entrepreneurs, only for spiritual entrepreneurs. And this would be people that solve non-money related problems. Like they help women feel better about themselves, or they help women gain confidence, or they help men feel like they're enough. All of these different things. And then she focused it on Claude. And then she started running advertising. And then she ran advertising. And now Amanda makes well over $3,000 a month profit by doing this. And she doesn't even live in the US. She moved to Serbia recently, and she runs her entire business on the road from wherever she goes. Her name is Amanda Smith, and she is the Spiritual Business School. So if you run a spiritual business, whether it's crystals or self-awareness or whatever it may be, you might want to check out my friend Amanda. You might want to check her out because she has got this thing down. She has figured it out. So that's all we are talking about here. Now, if you want to take the 7-day challenge, and that's what I suggest you do, take the 7-day challenge, join our community. Join it for 7 days. Because here's the thing. You don't know whether or not this thing is for you because you're not inside. You can't make an informed decision by being on the outside. You can only make an informed decision by being on the inside. And the only way you get on the inside is to take a 7-day free challenge. And if it's not for you, leave. It's fine. But why aren't you even giving it a shot? Why wouldn't you jump in where you get 7 days free and you get to come in to our group and you can consume a lot of this stuff for free and see if it's worth your time? Because we do live calls every week. I am constantly putting up new trainings. All of this stuff inside of here. Right? These first 5 things are free for that first week. And after that, it's only $7 a month if you don't get through it all. So, what do you have to lose? You don't have anything to lose. So, that about wraps it up for me. I don't know if you have any questions. I'm going to check TikTok here, see if there are any questions. I don't think I see any. Nope, no questions. And we're going to check the YouTube real quick. I don't see any questions there either. So we're going to wrap things up. And guys, I'm here every day. Different times every day, but I'm here every day. I make a daily live on YouTube and TikTok, and then I also make daily recorded content on TikTok. I don't do it so much on YouTube on YouTube. I don't do it so much on TikTok because quite frankly, I really don't like TikTok. They don't treat creators very well. Creators who are just trying to help people and make a living, they don't treat them well. They want to tell you you can't share screens, or you can't direct people to other websites, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. And it's exhausting. TikTok treats people my age like children, and I'm done with it. I'll simulcast, but I'm not going to focus most of my efforts here because I'm growing and I'm finding my people are mostly on YouTube because they want to see screenshots. They want to be able to go visit websites, and they want to be encouraged to visit websites. You can't do that on TikTok because of their stupid rules. So anyway, guys, that is it for me today. If you have any questions, you can look at any of the videos I have on either platform. You can ask questions there. On YouTube, these lives are recorded, and you can ask questions there as well. Okay? Guys, take care. Have a great day.
Theme song for my daily YouTube, Instagram and TikTok lives. I discuss how to create income you own with the paid community. Instead of income you rent from social media platforms through brand deals, pay-per-views, and ad revenue. My live streams are for creators and subject matter experts 40 and over who are able to monetize their YouTube or other channels the way they want. My style is straight talk, no hype and tech simple.